Hi everyone, this is Sunette here in this video to discuss an interesting case study in relation to an individual who has been dealing with an exceptional amount of stress and anxiety and worry and fear. And these emotions specifically related to work and the working environment. And they have for some time been walking a process of, identifying where exactly, these emotions are coming from. Like, what is creating these intense, overwhelming emotional experiences when it comes to work, and what eventually leads to, them coming home to their wife and kids, and, the kids also being quite a young age. It becomes so much or too much almost to handle for them. And because, at the time that they get home and are with their family, they just want to mentally and physically collapse. But with having the family responsibilities, they've got to find that mental and physical strength somewhere within them to just make it through the day. And it was interesting because the individual was sharing that, when they're at home or relaxed and enjoying themselves with the family and the kids, and yes, there are moments of tension and stress and anxiety and worry, but they're able to a lot more easier work through it and release it and just go back into that state of stability, slowing down, breathing. And they asked the question, as to why is it when I'm relaxed or at home and things are generally stable, is it easier to work through these emotional experiences than when I'm at work and I'm facing similar or the same emotional experiences, but once I'm there, I have so much difficulty breathing or doing some forgiveness and slowing down. I mean, just, before I catch myself, I am completely wrapped up in these emotional experiences. And further explained that, he can't get that point inside of himself to do the breathing, do some forgiveness, to slow down, to just be more stable. Now, what was interesting here with some more investigation and context, what we found is that one thing we tend to miss in our, investigation and introspection process within our minds in sourcing what it is within us that is creating those intense emotional experiences is we don't investigate or introspect deep enough. For example, when we're undergoing stress or, a array of various emotions in a moment, we tend to, keep the self-forgiveness quite surface or just try and breathe through it, in just doing a quick forgiveness statement on the stress or the anxiety or the tension and just the overwhelming emotions. But here to remember is that that extent of emotion is being created by thought patterns, by inner dialogue, by projections. We need to walk our process as specifically as possible to be able to identify and ask the question, what within my mind is creating these emotions? Because it's not work. I mean, the ideal situation would be, and us humans have that capacity, is however much we have to deal with or handle in our external environment or our life, even in work, this internal reality within us can be and remain stable. And yes, we'll go through moments of that tension and stress, but also within those moments, you've got the capacity to release it because we're creating it somehow from somewhere within us. So here we place then a goal for this individual in terms of having a look first at in the working environment, obviously establishing that it's not work itself, nothing external can create anything internal within yourself, but by your acceptance and allowance in somewhere, somehow within yourself, creating a emotional relationship with work or the things that need to get done or worked through or worked with. So therefore, with realizing that, the next step was, okay, so there are obviously moments with people and things that happen in the working environment that's setting off a massive amount of emotional experiences. But let's first start practicing in the simple moments in your working environment to there start doing breathing, forgiveness, and also get into your written process of sitting down with yourself and really identifying, what specific thoughts am I entertaining that is creating these experiences within me, so that when I get to work or even on my way to work, I can already start the process of prevention, where once I start recognizing those very familiar thoughts and backchats and projections coming up within me, I can already start forgiving, breathing, releasing. But not only that, also state a new word, a new experience, a new support structure within yourself that you can embody and practice becoming, that is different to that emotional states that you used to visit or go into or become possessed by. So, for example, identifying just simple moments was when his boss or a work colleague would tell him, okay, this needs to get done in this amount of time, or this needs to get done now. And then, he's thinking about all the other things that still need to get done. And in that moment, also a big trigger point for stress, anxiety, tension, fear. So already there in that moment, if he's going to start that task that was just given to him in that state and start behaving in it and living it out and start doing things while in that emotional stress state, this is going to recycle that whole system, that whole experience, and just keep experiencing and remaining in that state of stress and worry and fear and anxiety. So therefore, suggested to him in those small moments, what you do is make a statement for yourself of who you're going to be when doing this task or completing it. So choose to be more stable, more grounded, and have a look at, with this new task coming, how can all the rest of the task be managed within the time that is available to you in that day or the next day or the day after that. And are there any other people who you have to inform, and just letting them know, look, this task came, this takes priority, I'll get to this and this and this in this day or that day or this time. All right. So here, though, also what was interesting that opened up in this dimension, but before we get there, for everyone to take with you, when you are in a general working environment and you've got so many things happening all at the same time, at least find one moment in your working day or in your working environment or the people who's working with you where you can start practicing this change within yourself of, who am I? Am I going to continue doing this in this state, or am I going to practice assisting and supporting myself into a new word, a new expression, a new experience, such as stability, calm, slowing down, focus, diligence, specificity. It's kind of to train your mind and train yourself to be in the working environment in a different way than how you always used to walk into it. And that process is going to take time. But also, an interesting dimension within this that opened up is where he mentioned that, when I'm relaxed, I can walk my process very easily. But when I'm in a working environment, I can't walk it at all. So there's also a dimension of the difference in the mind, kind of polarizing, the work environment and the family home environment. Polarizing meaning creating a negative and a positive within themselves. But if you also drop that idea of family at home being a positive and work being a negative, not attaching any positive or negative values to it, but realize that I am with my family or I am at work, then you can decide who you want to be when you're at work. Who do you want to be when you're with family? And in a way, eventually assist and support yourself, where your relationship with, whether you're at work, with family, with friends, becomes determined by you. Not by emotions or feelings or reactions and experiences coming up within your mind. All right. So here in this video, just assisting and supporting those who may have found the real-time moments of change in your working environment becoming difficult. The main source of that is also trying to change too much at once, and instead of taking it one point, one relationship, one moment at a time. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Continue more in videos to come.